I hope you're having a beautiful Thursday, and today we have bench. I made sure to get ample of rest, and we're clocking in at around noon. No mic'd up content today just because I want to be courteous, because I do see some folks here. I tend to only do the mic'd up content if I'm there or if there's only one person, hence why I prefer to work out in the mornings. But I digress. Today on the menu, we have some 2-count pause bench. That's our only primary for today, and if you guys want to follow along to today's workout, it'll be right here. Thursdays are usually the quickest days. Like I have stated earlier, the bench is the only compound for today. For the weights increment, I have increased the weights for the accessories, but I have kept the weight for the compound the same for the bench. We have a really heavy SBD day for tomorrow. We have a squat, bench, and deadlift for tomorrow. And I don't want to overload my bench too much. I want to make sure that my chest is ready and primed and not too fatigued. Also, by the way, I had just woken up and I'm just stretching out my forearms and my wrists for today's 2-count pause. For last week's SBDs, particularly for my bench, my coach has stated that the pauses were not too good. They could have been a little bit longer, just because at a competition, at a powerlifting meet, your comp bench, it's like a little bit of a pause at the bottom. For all my powerlifting novices or beginners out there, at a powerlifting meet for bench, there are 3 referees. So for the bench, there's a ref behind you looking at you from the head down, and there's another ref on each side of you. The 2 refs on the sides are there to look at your arc and your butt to see that your butt is touching the bench at all times. There are some folks out there with an extreme arc for their backs. I try my best to arc too, just for that optimal efficiency. It is just moderate, but there are some extreme cases where there are some folks that arc all the way. Luckily for all of my competitions, I believe I competed at around 6 or 7 times now. I have never had an issue of having my butt hovering over the bench. And then the one ref that's point of view is from the middle of your perspective. That's usually the head ref, and that's the signaler for the go command and for the up command. There are some refs that are just having bad days and will give you an extremely long pause, but generally it's supposed to be like a second or like 2 alligators. I've been going off on a tangent, but this is my top set for today for 2-count pause. We got 242 loaded on the bar, and they were feeling really juicy today, really solid. I was really proud of myself at the end of this. Tomorrow for SBDs, for bench, we're gonna try to go for a PR. Today, my teddy bear junior was spotting me, but for tomorrow, I might need an actual spotter. And then yeah, guys, that's it. That was the only compound for today, and then we have our accessories. I really enjoy how my coach programmed my Thursdays to be. Not even from a powerlifting point of view, but from a bodybuilding point of view. Training both chest and back in a single day is a really pro move. I believe Arnold Schwarzenegger and C-Bum both train this split. Chest obviously is a large portion of your front, and then back is obviously behind you, and it's also a large portion. Some folks prefer to do chest, triceps, and shoulders, and vice versa, back and biceps. But if you're ever feeling curious or you want to try something new, just try doing a chest and back split and you'll thank me later for sure. On the menu, we have some close grip lat pull downs. No more weighted pull-ups, unfortunately. For my preference for this workout, I like gripping the motorcycle handle close, almost to the edge of the handle, if you guys know what I mean, instead of the middle. I personally feel more mind-muscle connection and more engagement that way. For the next accessory, for another 2 sets, we have some single arm cable row. I'm right dominated and my left is my weaker, so I always start with my left. But lately, not gonna lie, I feel like my left is getting stronger just because I've been doing this for a while. I'm not getting ambidextrous by any means, but I think I should probably start doing my right first. For this block, this was a new workout for me. For my OG folks, the ones that have been tracking me for a while, I used to do, in my program, single dumbbell rows for like 70 pounds. I made sure, obviously, to have full range of motion and a juicy pause at the top, but I don't know anymore. I'm really liking these cable variations, and I don't want to get too comfortable doing one form. I obviously want to be open-minded and try new things. For example, I know a lot of folks that prefer always doing either a machine or free weight kind of a workout, and my counter argument to that would be to try both variations. I know this is more of a bodybuilding thing, but let me know down in the comments below if you're a bodybuilder and how long have you been training bodybuilding for. I have a huge amount of respect for bodybuilders. Believe it or not, I used to train bodybuilding in the beginning of my fitness journey, but just like most individuals, I unfortunately had body dysmorphia. If you guys take a look at my frame, I'm very stocky and kind of chunky / bubbly, and I can't really blame myself. I've never really been on a cut, so I've never really seen myself shredded before. But at the end of the day, powerlifting is my hobby. I genuinely like it. I really like that mind-muscle connection in bodybuilding, don't get me wrong, and looking at yourself shirtless and seeing the progress is amazing. But I believe that one can only take off your shirt so many times. I don't want to put myself out there like that, so to say. I do have a girlfriend and I don't want to see everyone seeing me with my shirt off, but that's just me. Plus, one of my biggest pros for powerlifting, one of my favorite aspects of doing the sport, if you guys have noticed diligently that on a week-to-week basis, the weights have been going up. Powerlifting is all about growing and becoming a better version of yourself. I am getting stronger. I'm 27 years old, and I can honestly say that with my head up high, this is the strongest version of myself by far. I have a really good coach. Lately, I've been stretching more and more. Yeah, man, I'm just getting more and more powerful, so to say. From me recording this journey, my squats have been feeling more and more buttery smooth. My heavy deadlifts have been looking and feeling a lot more better. And for bench, it's been stagnant. I'm still at the same weight, unfortunately. My all-time PR for bench is around 297 or 300, but it was a pretty sloppy 300 if I were to be honest. But for the next block and for the upcoming weeks, I'll make sure to prioritize and take my bench more seriously. It's been a long time coming. I've gone through several different arcs, but bench, one of these days I will bench 315 pounds. My coach knows that I've been on this fight for a long time, but he just keeps saying to be patient, and I am. And one of these days, man, I will get 315. I particularly remember when I was a short kid, 110 pounds, that 135 pounds on bench was a huge goal of mine. I remember when I was around 130 to 140, that 225 was the next goal. But 3 plates, 315 is the longest time that I've been stuck. Of course, I want to hit this without any injuries and making sure that everything is primed and ready to go. But with my consistency and determination, I know for a fact that I will hit it one day. And other than that, I just want to say a huge thank you if you guys have made it at the end of this video. Comment down below what your all-time PR on bench is. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Fridays for SBDs.